Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope we're all doing good. It's your girl once again. I just wanted to pass by and to advise all of us in this life that sometimes we have opportunities that are presented to us. Sometimes somebody will tell you or give you an idea, pump something into your head, and we go just on the basis of what we've heard them say, instead of going into ourselves and thinking about this opportunity that is being presented to us before we take action, decide on whether it's something that you want to do or not, and then decide and move on, whether to take that decision and move on with that or otherwise. And I'll tell you this story to illustrate what I'm saying. There's a young girl who came from a very poor background. She never knew who her dad was. The mom never told her who her dad was because she just said the dad was never a part of their lives. She has always struggled to look after this daughter of hers, and so she should just forget about the dad and just know that she is everything to her and she loves her daughter, and whatever the daughter needs, she is the one who would be responsible for making sure that she gets what she wants. The mother really struggled to put her through school. The mother was selling charcoal by the side of the road, and that's the money that she used to put her through school. Times were really, really difficult for them. But this girl was quite intelligent, and she made it into the tertiary institutions in Ghana and got admission to one of them, Legon to be precise, and started school. Even going to the school was a big challenge. How to get the fees paid for her to have somewhere to sleep in a hostel and then go to the school was a challenge. But she ended up in a room with 3 other girls, she being the 4th one. On the face of it, these 3 other young ladies seemed to have their act together. They had everything. They didn't lack anything in the school. But this 4th girl who had come to join them from the poor background had nothing. It was difficult for her to do anything. Sometimes even feeding was a problem. These 3 other girls will contribute money, put monies together, help her pay her school fees sometimes, buy her textbooks, clothes, food, the list goes on. They did this for a time. And as time went on, when she got comfortable with them, they told her she has to use what she has to get what she wants. Being naive, initially she didn't understand what they were saying. But as she thought about it, she understood what they were trying to say to her. And so one day, they went for a party, and they invited this girl to go along with them. They looked at what she had and advised her that that kind of party that they're going to, what she's wearing, it doesn't pass. So they took her shopping, bought her all kinds of things, and got her ready for this party. She got to the party, and the party was an exclusive place where all the big men in society with a lot of money, that's where they go to hang out and have fun. They sat down, had drinks. All these big men started showing up. Long story short, she figured that she had been brought to a place and being introduced to elderly men. And this is how these other 3 girls were able to survive university and had everything on the face of it that they had. This girl took heed to what they were doing and looked at her own life. No money. Mom can't even pay my fees, let alone anything else. And so she joined the bandwagon and started sleeping with men too. On the first party, by the time they came back the following morning back to campus, she already had $200 from that night of making some older man happy in bed. She was so excited with the money she had, like just one night, $200. Wow. The girl started laughing. This is nothing. This is the least amount you can receive from this sort of thing. You wait. After they did this for a few times, there was now an introduction to somebody they called their godmother. And she had been sent out to these small parties for them to test her out, to actually see whether she has what it takes to be able to do this work of theirs. She was introduced to the godmother. Godmother was pleased with her and everything she's been able to do. And so there was a bigger party for them to prepare for. She had forgotten everything that her mom had told her. My daughter, you know where you've come from. Going to this school, please focus on your education and study hard because you know where you've come from. She continued with her life and went to this bigger party. This bigger party was outside of Ghana, in Nigeria to be precise. All the big men and women from both countries, like people who have affluence, they were all represented in this party. And their godmother went with them. It was a swinging party for a whole week. They were divvied up into big chalets. 5 girls per chalet. And 5 girls would have 5 men. And all the 5 girls will sleep with all the 5 men. And when they're done, the 5 men will pay all of them. And then they move to the next room. Next 5 men, the 5 girls will service those men, on and on and on for 1 week. She came back with a lot of money. A lot of money. And the swinging party wasn't just men doing men. There were women doing women. The whole shebang. Anything you can think of in your mind, it happened. They came back after the 1 week. And this girl had a lot of money. To the point of even buying a car for herself. Changing her whole life. Renting a stall for her mom back where she came from. And filling it up with goods that the mom could sell. The amazing thing is that the mom never asked her daughter where she got the money from. How she came into money to the point of buying car and buying a store and filling it up for her. She never asked her how the money came about, where she got it from. Education was what she sent her for. After coming back or on their way back from this swinging party with a lot of money, I told you there were 4 girls. On board the flight back to Accra, one of the girls complained of a really bad headache. Real bad. Like on board the flight, she was throwing up, vomiting, the whole shebang. She passed out. She was vomiting blood. Some of it was coming from her nostrils. And this headache continued. When the plane landed, she was rushed into hospital. And she was kept there for 3 days. But by the 3rd day, she passed on. She was one of the 4 girls in that room in this university campus. And then there was left with 3 of them, including this girl. A few weeks after this swinging party, girl number 2, she's the joker of the team, always cracking jokes, very friendly. This girl started behaving very erratically, laughing even when there's nothing funny, and just behaving very weird. At times, she wanted to expose herself, like rip herself off her clothes. As time went on, this girl lost her mind. It was so bad that the 2 other girls, including this poorer girl, they called the girl's family to say, "We don't know what's happening to your daughter. You better come to the school and take her." When they came initially, her situation wasn't that bad, so they didn't really see much that was wrong. But a few weeks in, this losing of mind was becoming very serious, so they called back and they came. Took her to a hospital, referred her to a psychiatric hospital. They tried everything. One day, this girl just escaped from the psychiatric hospital and hasn't been seen since then. The parents have done everything, put posters of her all over the place looking for their child. Today, they found her here. The next day, somebody claims they've spotted her there. Whether she's alive or lifeless, nobody knows, but she's just disappeared with losing her mind. Girl number 3. She starts losing weight. She's light-skinned. She's just getting darker. She's always unwell. And she started complaining of not really being able to see properly when they go to school and are in class. As the weeks went by, she just couldn't even move her body, not to talk of going to school. So this poor girl had to call the family. They came and took this girl to hospital, but her situation was just getting worse. She went blind, and she lost so much weight that it was even difficult for her to even grab hold of anything. She became paralyzed and wheelchair bound, and she couldn't do anything. Before she passed on, she had another episode and she was rushed into hospital. She's blind, now completely paralyzed, and lying on her deathbed. But before she passed on, she told this poorer girl that life is not fair. And sometimes when you do things, you ill understand what you've done. But by the time you realize it, oftentimes, it's too late. After saying that, her situation got really critical, and she also passed away. Now there's just this one poorer girl left to tell this tale that I'm telling you. And even she has also started to lose her mind. She had a car, I told you, that she can't even remember where she parked the car. Now, she has the keys to the car, but she doesn't know where the car itself is. She's also starting to lose weight and not feel very good. And this is how she's ended up with a certain pastor fighting and begging to be delivered from this atrocity so that she can live her life. Why am I telling this story today? There's so many young people on this social media. Maybe some even that are not that young. The people in their 20s and 30s. You are not that young. But there's so many people in this life who probably haven't been through so much yet. Or maybe you have. And because of the difficulties of your life, your finances, the fact that you're struggling for everything, you think that there's an easier way out. Maybe somebody has presented you with something that on the face of it seems sensible. Let me just do this thing. After all, what will happen? And so you're feeling like you have to fall for this thing because what you're going through is just too difficult for you. But let me tell you something. If this girl had just ate her one meal or half a meal or no meal and just focused on her education, she would probably still be alive and well now. Now here she is going from church to church looking for somebody or somewhere so that she can be delivered from everything and have her peace. The third girl that had died, the parents didn't understand the whole thing. How can somebody just be in school and the next thing she's paralyzed, she's blind? None of them knew, none of the families knew what their daughters were up to in university. And so when she passed on, the family decided they can't just let it be just like that. They have to investigate and find out what has happened. And so they went the spiritual route. They went to see somebody who is able to call forth spirits of dead people. And when they did whatever they did, this person was the soul of that person, or the spirit of that person started speaking. And it turned out that in this whole swinging business of theirs, there was this particular older man with a lot of money who took the liking to that girl. But unbeknownst to her, this man had already promised some other girl in the swinging group. And so when she found out that there were two of them struggling with this same guy, she sent area boys to go and give that girl a good beating and warn her to stay away from that man that she has now got. The area boys were not measured. They took matters into their own hands, and this whole little warning of a beating ended up with this girl losing her life. And when they realized that what they had done had resulted in her lifeless body, and in order not to be caught, they put the person's lifeless body in a river, and it went away. They didn't tell anybody. But all the 4 guys that were involved in that atrocity, within months, all of them passed on. That girl that was given a beating for chasing the same man that this girl was chasing, she avenged all of them. And the last one was the person who sent them to go and do what they did to her and threw her in the river. And that is why this girl had lost her life. The family now understood what had happened. And the interesting thing is that when all these 3 other girls passed away, that godmother, the swinging madam, she didn't turn up for any of their funerals. All she does is send people with money to go and, give this to the family. And that is the end of the story. She didn't care about them that much. She was just happy that she had a swinging agency full of young girls that are selling them souls to the devil for money. The economy and the life out there has become so difficult that when you hear some of the things that are happening back there right now, it blows your imagination and your mind. I can't even recognize the place anymore, because that wasn't the country that I spent a lot of my formative years. I can't recognize that, morals are just out the window. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm just here because a lot of young people in today's world think that you have to get everything on a silver platter. You don't work hard for anything. You should have everything should just fall on top for you. You should get everything that you want without working hard for it. But I just want everybody to understand that you can't reap where you haven't sown. Unless you do the hard work, the hard graft. And that is the only way, by the way, that you can have something tangible that you can be proud of. If you want to cut corners and do things that don't make sense, I want you to understand that these are some of the consequences for those actions of yours. I want parents, especially fathers, and if you've watched me on this platform, you know I ain't got no time for irresponsible dads. No time, no empathy, nothing for irresponsible fathers. If you're watching me today and you're a dad or a man, and you know that there was a time in your life that you put some woman, some girl in the family way, and after you did that, you ran off. You didn't care about the child, the mom, their well-being, whether they lived or didn't. Please stop watching my channel, because this channel is not for you. If you watch this channel you should stop watching it, because I have no time, zero tolerance for any irresponsible dad on this platform. Don't watch me anymore. Unless you're prepared for reformation, to go back and go and right your wrong, don't watch this channel anymore. It is terrible. It's the most horrific thing that any man can do. Whether you want the person anymore, you don't want to be married to them, you don't want to be, I don't care. Look after your child. Any man born of a woman who is watching this channel and is an irresponsible dad, stop watching me. Me and you, we can't be friends. Don't watch my channel anymore. Don't. It's terrible. In this story that I've told you, if this girl's father, whoever he was or is, paid any attention to her, sent money for her upkeep, and didn't abandon the woman with this girl, do you really think that she would end up like this? Now here she is, not knowing whether she's going to live or otherwise, because of poverty and the fact that she was unfortunate enough to come from the lions of a man who is irresponsible and doesn't care about her or the person that he puts in a family way. It's what has resulted in all of this. And so if you're a man watching me right now and you've got children that you've abandoned, you don't ask of them, you don't send no money, like you're not a part of their life, stop watching my channel, because you and I, we can't be friends. Irresponsible men. Nobody has touched me anywhere, my darling. I just have zero tolerance for men who behave like that. It is the most horrific thing that you can do to a child. If you know that you don't want to have no children, then don't do the things that bring children. That's just as simple as that. So let's put that to one side. Now, mothers, I know that some of you never thought that this is how the story would go. You met somebody who promised you heaven and earth. As soon as they got you pregnant, they left you. They abandoned you, and now this kid has become your own singular responsibility, and only you have to look after the child. Let me tell you something, young girls. You see, every time that you are opening your thing for somebody to have access, whilst you are opening, in that split second of opening, you have to think about something. That this thing that me and somebody are going to do, this Bula Matali that is going to enter my something, when anything happens from this thing that we are going to do in secret, only I am going to carry the evidence of what is happening. As soon as you understand that, that is half of your burden gone. But sadly, a lot of my sisters don't think about this thing. When some man comes to propose to you or tell you heaven on earth, when you are opening, you are not thinking that this thing that we're going to do, when you're done, the man will go and take a shower and wash himself off, put his clothes on, and he's gone. What is the guarantee that when this man does this thing to me, he's going to stick around? Where is the guarantee? Where is it? Because you see, men are attracted by what they see, you know. It's all about the sight. As soon as they see you with your nice, top-shaped body, all the headlights in the right place, the back axle, everything in its proportion, all they're thinking about is banging, smashing. That's all they're thinking about. They don't care about you that much. It's just being able to conquer, getting to that apple of yours and having it. That's all. It's all about the apple. Finish. So when they've had you to their fill, they walk away. And now you have to bear the brunt of what you are doing. Understand that. Like, this is just basic core principle. And when you understand that, it helps you to make an informed decision when you're opening. Number 2. Most of these guys these days, Even with the advent of Punani, having Bula Matali, having socks, you know, the thing that they've made that people can use to put their something away so that you don't get pregnant or worse. That thing. A lot of them don't like to wear it. They want it raw, you know, skin to skin. Yeah. But skin to skin always brings problems. If it's not pregnancy, it's illness. If it's not illness, it's both. And this is just the physical things that we're talking about here. There's now the spiritual connotation. I don't want to go there. So think about this thing that you're doing before you do it. Don't go on this whim because of some 5-minute, 10-minute pleasure, if that, and change your whole life because of that. And it's funny how a lot of us girls don't think about these things, you know. We only think about it after the event and after the issues have arisen. So you've gone to do something. I didn't ask you to do it. You've done it. And now as a result of the skin to skin, body no be firewood. That feeling that you caught, because of that feeling, now I am the result of that. And you have to bear the brunt of what you've done. My sister, I know there were 2 of you who done it. But well, you didn't take any precautions. That's not on me, that's on you. If you were silly enough to not think about it and now you don't get belly, you have to face up to the music. Because when he was doing ta-ta-ta, you were enjoying it. So now the cookie is ready. That exams that you went to write in secret, the results are out. So go for your results now. And look after your child. Many parents, many single mothers, when they do this thing and they get fed up with it, a lot of them go on holidays in their parenting. But one thing you have to understand is that there's no holidays in parenting. I'm on the 4th floor. Thanks be to God, I still have my parents alive. And even on the 4th floor, whilst they are on the 7th floor, they are still parenting me on my 4th floor. They never sleep. So parenting, it never finishes. It is still parenting, continue. So that's one thing that you have done that don't bring you belly. You have to look after that belly and everything it comes with. It's a lifetime commitment. And so my sister, if you're not ready for lifetime commitment, it's either you keep the Bible close, you keep the doors closed, or every time you are opening, think about what you are doing and what is going to bring about. Because when it comes down to it, when the cookie crumbles, the person will give you belly. He just gets to wash this Bula Matali, put it back where it came from, and walk away. And you have to sit back and be responsible for something that 2 people did. That's just the truth. I'm giving it to you raw because it's the truth. And now you're faced with this pregnancy that you didn't ask for. And you have to be responsible by yourself for this pregnancy. In this story, this woman went through so much with her daughter. But when this daughter got to university, it was like she just left her to her own devices. When she needed the guidance and counseling of her mom the most, she left her to her own devices. What kind of parent sends their child to school, and after a few months, this daughter of yours is bringing you all kinds of things that you, in your however many years, can't even do for yourself? You were selling charcoal by the side of the road. Your daughter goes to school for a few months and is able to raise enough money to put up a whole store for you, fill it up with things, and you're selling it. And nothing tells you that, what is this daughter of mine doing? It is education that she went for. The last time I heard, they don't give money in university. It is books that you go to study. I never heard anywhere that people go to school, university, and come back rich. We would all be doing it. But she didn't ask the question. She looked the other way. She was enjoying the benefits of her child's labor. She looked the other way. She didn't ask. This woman has slept with all kinds of people. Men, women, the both of them, threesomes, quadruplesomes. Yeah, that's how she earned that money. To look after her. To get the store and fill it up with things that she could sell. Somebody will say, but you don't understand. You don't know what they went through. Do you know how difficult it is? You are just sitting here making noise. After everything that she has done, all the charcoal selling and all the struggle, this girl is at a crossroads. She may not live. So now, what was the point of all of that when this is now the end result? What was the point? There is a way that seemeth right unto a man/woman, but the end thereof is not being alive anymore. The way to destruction is always lined with gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and diamonds, and everything that you can think about. There are a lot of people having fun, dancing, jumping around, and it seems very attractive. But my love, anything that brings instant justification, gratification, it's not a very long road. Just before you know it, there's a big ditch behind all that fun that people are having. And then you just fall plump into it, and that's it. You're dead. The right way is bending and winding and full of mountains and valleys and difficulties and thorns and everything you can think about. But when you persevere, no matter how little, you can be something that you can be proud of, because you know that you struggled for this thing by yourself, by your own hands and your work. Not trying to take things that don't belong to you. Not by sleeping with other people's husbands. Not by taking monies that are not yours to be had. Not by inviting all manner of things into your life. Today, back there in Africa, there's so many young girls that are doing all kinds of things. Some of them are so mind-blowing that I listen to the story. I can't tell it because it's just too much for me. People are sleeping with animals to fantasize men. Can you imagine? Young girls have puppies that are licking their apples back and forth to pleasure men, to pay them for that. Everything that animal has, you are having too. Everything. If dog gets rabies, you get rabies. If dog has whatever, you have it too. But people are doing that to satisfy some stupid fantasy of men in exchange for money. So the money you will get, lots of it too, but you won't live long to tell the tale. And so my sister, life is hard. It's true. You have to work hard for everything that you want in this life. It's true too. It's Saturday. I should be sleeping in my bed. But I'm going to work. In the next 10 minutes, I will be working. Other people are sleeping in their bed. Some people are doing mama and papa right now as we are speaking. Me, I'm working. Because you know what? Anything that I need in this life, this is what is going to get me there. This, God, and me. Finish. 10 fingers and a willingness to put in the hours. So whilst other people are sleeping, having fun, and doing all kinds of things. Me, I'm working. I am my own person. I don't have no husband, no children, no nothing. Even if I did, it's not my child's responsibility to look after me. Once I turned 18, my life was mine. So everything that I desire in this life is going to take the work of my hands in order to get it. And so I'm working hard. Very soon, not too long from now, in another decade or two, I won't be able to do what I'm doing now anymore. That is the time for me to rest and enjoy the life. I don't want to not have anything when that time comes and it's just there. I can see it. So you know what? This is the time to put in the hard work. I haven't heard anybody work hard with their 10 fingers and because of hard work, they're not alive anymore. I haven't heard anybody. I saw my parents work hard. They're still here. I've seen my grandparents work hard. They lived well into their 80s and 90s before they passed on. And so you know what? Hard work. Yeah, that's the only way. I value my apple so much that I can't imagine myself allowing 5 people minimum every night to have their way with me just so that I can put food in my mouth. Oh no. How much rather sell apples? Yeah, I will sell ginger. I will do anything but that. Good morning, Pastor Patience. But a lot of people are doing all manner of things just to have no kofi o minta o mayeni. Just little food that I'll put in my mouth. Because of that. Just because of that. You sell yourself and everything of yours. All that glitters in this life, my sister, it's not gold. She bought the car. She went to school. There were 4 of them. Now there's just 1 of her. And even she's losing her mind. She can't even remember where she put her car anymore. She talks to herself. She says sometimes she feels like just ripping herself naked and just going down the street. Yeah, that swinging party where they were swinging with everybody. If they had 5 to a room for 7 days even, how many people do you think that girl slept with in that 1 week? Just imagine the evil and atrocity that is going on in our world today. And the older women out there who have made it their job to use money to entice young girls into this kind of life. God have mercy on all of you. Old men, old enough to be grandfathers sometimes to these young girls, just because of common money, taking advantage of people's daughters. You also get your own. But I just want my sisters here to understand that ultimately, the responsibility of staying alive is in your hands. Not in my hands, not in the hands of those old men or that so-called godmother or nobody else. It is in your own hands. And only you are responsible for making sure that you stay alive. Because nobody gives a toss, you know. Nobody gives a toss whether you stay alive or otherwise. God has given that responsibility to you to take advantage of that and do what is needful to stay alive. Use this thing and this thing. Yeah, and you'll be fine. Any young person who thinks that, and these days it's not even people who are that young. 20s, 30s, married women. Just because of small hardship. You want Brazilian hair. You want this. Your husband can't afford it. So you think that it is okay. After all, if I go and sleep with this married man and he gives me $1,000 and I chop and clean my mouth and come and sit down, how would my husband even know? Oh, thank you so much, Auntie Betty. How would my husband know? And so because of that, even married women are going behind their husband's back because he doesn't have the money or he can't afford the life that they want. So it's better to go and cut corners and do something and for the money. The whole driving force is money. Money, money, money. How much of this money can you even enjoy in this life? You buy a whole big bed. I have a whole queen-size bed that I sleep on. But I only sleep on, let's see, 2 feet is too much of that bed every night. My whole body can fit into 2 feet of the bed. I'm 5'9", so yeah, 2 feet by 5'9". That is the only part of this bed that I sleep on every single night. The rest of it, books, my redox signaling molecules, yeah, those things, they occupy the other part of the bed. Pen, pencil, you can find everything else in the bed. And me, I'm just in 2 by 6 of the bed. So how much do you really need in this life? Even in the car, those of you us who have cars and are driving it, you only sit in the driver's side of the car. Some people never sit in passenger side or even at the back because you're always driving their car. The hair, the this, nails, this, food. I have to have this. I have to have that. You're 25 years old. You've never worked a day in your life, but you want to live in story building, mansion, at the expense of somebody else's husband. Don't you think you're ever going to get away with that? Everything under the sun, you pay a price for it. So if you're not prepared to pay that price, my love, you are better off just using this thing here and this thing here. Stay alive. Work hard. Those are the only things that will guarantee you success and the peace of mind and of thought from what you've done. Be content with your lot, you know. Be satisfied with your lot. You are better off having 1 bowl of kinky and fish for lunch by yourself, by your own hands, and not take advantage of other people. Thank you so much, Auntie Betty. There is nothing like a free lunch. Absolutely nothing. There's a price to pay for everything. Everything. A price. So before you go opening that punani of yours, that apple of yours, think about everything I've said to you today. And know that the thing that 2 people do, when it comes down to it, only 1 person bears the brunt of what happens. If it is belle, now you go carry am. Only you will carry it. If you're lucky enough to have a responsible man, he may stay by your side. But if you're not lucky, and it's all these area boys, oh yeah, they took what they came to take. Now you be responsible for the rest of it. A word to the wise. It's enough. All that glitters is not gold. Think about what I've said. Share this video. There's some young people that need to hear what I've said today to save their lives. It's not everything in this life that is worth having. Not everything. Especially when it's not yours that you've worked hard for. Save your life. Stay alive. And do what needs to happen to save that life. God bless you all so much. Hello, my brother Solomon. I hope you're fine. Take care, everybody. Happy Saturday. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Mwah. I love you all. Take care. Bye.